What's going on, Blaze Nation? It is your commentator NVBC here, bringing you episode 1 of my Photoshop tips and tricks. And what you're going to be learning today is actually how to put texture into text the correct way. There is a wrong way of doing this, and I'm going to show you first how that is done, and I'm going to show you the correct way. So first off, go ahead and jump into your Photoshop program. And I'm going to put some basic text for this tutorial today. You can do this with anything as long as you're doing it the correct way. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and put envy as my text. And all you have to do to align this center, to align it to the center, is hit Control A. And you want to align the centers horizontally, which you would click this button, and you would align it vertically, which is this button. So go ahead and click that. Hit Control D, which deselects everything. And there's a couple things I like to usually do to my text, but I'm not going to show you that because it's going to basically ruin everything what I'm about to do. This is the wrong way of adding texture to your text. So I'm going to pick just a random one for instance. This one today is going to be for the tutorial, and it's already centered, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit place, right click it, create clipping mask. What this does is actually puts the texture over the text. You can pretty much align it any way you want, but what happens, you can't add any effects to the text like stroke or drop shadow, any of that stuff. This overtakes everything because you're doing it wrong. So how to add this texture on and keep those effects is very simple. So go ahead and delete that, which is you just delete button. You can hit Control X. There's a bunch of different shortcuts. I always just hit delete layer, which is the little trash can. And you're going to go back to your texture, whatever it may be, and go ahead and drag it to a new document. And usually the bigger the resolution the picture is, the better it turns out. So all you have to do is go to Edit, Define Pattern, and you can name this whatever you would want, like hexagon pattern, whatever this type of pattern is, and name it whatever you would like. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel because I've already saved it for this tutorial, and go ahead and exit off of it. You want to right click, go to blending options, and this is where the texture or the text effects come in. I always add these two to all my text most of the time because it makes it pop out more and makes it look a little bit more, it makes it just stand out and stuff. So always add a stroke. You can go really wide with it if you'd like to, not that wide, but you can go wide if you'd like to. But I know a better way of doing that, and that's going to be in a later tutorial tips and tricks episode. So first off, add the stroke to about 2. Honestly, I think that looks the best if you're going for like a sleek design. Sorry. And next you go to drop shadow, and you want to take the size all the way down. Take the distance up to about 12. I think that's the perfect number. It gives this shadow to the text. I think it looks really well. And next you want to go to pattern overlay, and now this is where your pattern comes in. You saved your pattern, you defined it, so which saves it here. Right here is my texture, and right there puts the text right, well, the texture right over it. There's one way of doing this. You can actually just drag the texture around, or you can go to the scale and it'll actually make it smaller until you find the perfect spot for your text. I'm going to go ahead and add it to about right there. Pull it down a little bit more. I really don't like the pink as much, so we're going to look for a darker color. I think probably about right there. Honestly, looks good to me. And you can actually change what you would like this to look. If you want to just add this cool looking waves through your text, it's very simple. Go to multiply. Usually looks really well. Sometimes you can't see it depending on what pattern you put over, so go to lighten, or you just scroll through it until you find what you're looking for. But half the time textures like this won't look right on text, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you a preview of what textures you can actually change the color and it'll look good. So for instance, I'm going to click on this texture, and you can see it's like a scratch metal, more of a grunge type text, and you want to go to multiply on this, and to change the color of this text, as it's very dark, go ahead and go to the color, drag it all the way up, and you can actually click on whatever color you want. When it's a metal texture, you can actually change it to whatever color you want. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to the pattern overlays because there's a few I want to show you guys. Go ahead and put this back on normal. And this texture is really sick looking. It's more of like a, I don't know what you would describe it as, but I think it honestly looks really cool on text. You can go ahead and mess around with it until you find the sweet spot that you think looks awesome. I'm going to probably put it about right there. I think it looks pretty cool, honestly. I think this texture looks really well. And there's this Tron one. It has like a bunch of blue bright lines and like a grid texture. You can change it to however you want. More blue on the text, however you would like to change it. Honestly, guys, this is a very simple and creative way to add any texture to anything as long as you do it in that order. Always remember to define it as a pattern, and then go to pattern overlay. Then find whatever your pattern may be, and you actually have a awesome pattern. And you can actually make like garden time, like if you want to put stone on your text and stuff. There's a lot of cool creative ways you can put texture on the text, and this is the simplest, and I think it looks the best. So anyway, if you learned anything today, guys, definitely smash that like button and leave a comment in the description below what you would like to learn next. I mean, I'm open for anything. I'll teach you everything to my ability. Anyway, this is NVBC, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.